too, and these are my reasons. With regard to costs, the costs are unknown in all three options. Land is problematic throughout the whole city. This site offers the greatest or the highest yield in terms of actual numbers of people, and we have received a good kicking in the past from ministers for not getting on with and housing people. With relation to noise attenuation, both in natural and built form, we know now that there is ability to provide for this. I think of Marston's Road in the relatively new Fairway Park subdivision where we rented before our permanent shift. That has a good kind of green noise attenuation there, so that when you're living right next to a main arterial road, the noise is substantially reduced. We also know, a lot of us the other day sitting in the Skirt building, how good the glass was there to keep out the noise from the southern motorway, and that double glazing, any kind of attenuation technology exists in residences as well. The LERP criteria provides for that lack of sameness, which has been a part or a recognised part of social housing in the past and given rise to those descriptions of ghettos which none of us want. If you look at a Housing New Zealand house, actually it was relocated, corner of Kerrs and Wainoni Road, you're not able to tell from other houses surrounding it that it's that it's social housing, for instance. And I'm confident under the LERP that greater subtlety is provided for. There was one email which I received about noise attenuation from someone. I don't know who they are. I don't know what qualifications they have. They're concerned at the noise. They quote data, but they don't actually provide the data. I can't make a decision without any actual meaty data over noise in that respect. So I still support this and I hope it goes ahead.
Paul?
I voted against this last time, and I'll just repeat the reasons I voted against it. Land is an issue. We want speed around a project. If we get in there and we find the land is unsuitable, then we're right back to square one again. So that's why I voted against this here. We all want to see warm, dry houses for people, and that's what the exemplar project's all about. In fact, I think that's just what our building practice should be from here on in, rather than being an exemplar. This should just be the normal. But we want to see some speed. We don't want to be held up by issues around land, quality, noise pollution. I just don't even think it's a very good area for actually building high density in the inner city. So I'll be voting against it again.
Tim?
Thank you. I voted for it last time, but I have changed my mind. The reason for it is we talked about numbers of units on the site. We've talked about sound mitigation. As soon as you walk out of those buildings, you are the distance of a small garden and a footpath away from probably one of the busiest four-lane highways in this city, certainly one of the main truck routes. I just do not, we talked about future ghettos and quality of life. I don't see this site being quality of life that we're wanting to attach to an exemplar program. So I will be voting against this, and I strongly recommend my colleagues to.
Yanni?
Thank you. I think it's really important that in this debate we focus on what we can do as a council. I think part of the problem has been that we've got the land use recovery plan, we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we feel like we're under pressure to do, that we have to do, but actually I think the exemplar project should be able to be really open around getting the best possible use of this land to achieve the issue of housing, but also to look at some development in a local community. And if you think about the previous exemplars that we've endorsed, think of Meadowlands. That's actually a shopping mall, it's a residential neighbourhood, it's got community facilities, it's got commercial, retail, business, housing. So there's no reason why we should feel constrained, I think because of the LERP, to not actually look at the best use of this land and how we can build housing on it. But it doesn't exclude us, in my view, from doing any of the considering any of those other options that are possible. And so, from my point of view, I support this because I want us to get on and start doing some planning around the future of this major site. Just leaving it there with nothing happening, in my view, is not what I want. It's not a solution. And all the debates about the numbers of houses, around the design, around the noise, around the dust, around the land, anything else like that can be taken into account as this progresses. So don't constrain ourselves now by thinking we've got a very tight definition of an exemplar and we can't do anything out of the box. Actually, the whole purpose of an exemplar was to look at out-of-the-box development, to look at creative solutions to the problems that we have. So I'm really supportive of doing this. I do think that, you know, we're spending so much time having these debates, and actually what we need to see is the work being done on the ground. And the sooner we get to a phase where we can start doing the work, the better, in my view. And it doesn't preclude us from looking at the other sites that have been identified that are in areas for development mechanisms, so they actually have a step up anyway. This site doesn't have any special planning provisions at the moment, so the point of having it as an exemplar is that you could put special planning provisions around it if, when the work's done, that is the best opportunity. There are many people that live along railway corridors, highways, major arterials in our city, and there's some very nice development alongside those that do mitigate the effects. I do appreciate the email that we got from Bruce Alexander. I know he is really well qualified in terms of many of the things that he raised with us, but I have confidence that with a new development we can address those concerns.
I'd like to say a few words on it myself, and I've got Mr Alexander's email here because although I already voted against Brougham Street, this actually reinforced my concern because I don't remember the report having a detailed analysis of both noise and traffic emissions. And the point that he makes is that he draws attention to a recognised philosophy that it is bad town planning practice to place residential units on busy intersections and close to high density traffic volume roads and motorways where the residents are polluted by traffic fumes and noise. Noise pollution from traffic is now universally recognised as a World Health hazard. I know you can protect against it inside the house, of course you can, but you can't protect it outside the house apart from the kind of sound barriers that are constructed using trees, hills, those sorts of things, fences of particular natures. But that's not creating a community. I mean, in terms of creating a community environment, I actually think that we can do better than Brougham Street. I thought that then, but my main reason for not supporting it last time was because of the challenge that the land faced. So we could go right down the track and then find out that because of the site that we've chosen and the land issues involved, that we're going to put up the price per unit exponentially and not have any mechanism for going back and reviewing what the particular exemplar project would be, which is why in many respects I'd rather choose another exemplar project but continue to work on this site for other purposes because, I mean, there are challenges until we get the resolution, which enables us to bring in other partners into the rebuild process, which is something that we absolutely need to do. The point that he made about noise level readings was from a report that identified the noise level readings in 1979. They already exceeded World Health Organization standards in 1979. So I wonder what their position is now. So I don't think that we have a current measure of them, and I would like to know what they are. But it's the emissions that probably worry me more than the noise, because you cannot protect against that. Again, inside, yes, outside, no, and we know that the damage that is done to people's health and well-being by vehicle emissions. So building high-density residential in a site that actually has so many compromises is something that I strongly feel that cannot meet the exemplar status that we're trying to achieve. I also feel that there is another option that we could look at for this site, which might give us an even better site for which we can develop brand new housing on a whole site that would be dedicated to creating a real exemplar and an excellent community. So that being the case, I will put the motion. All those in favour of the motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. So now we'll have a vote. Are we up for having a vote? I didn't realise the last time that we had a vote that the machines don't operate for committee meetings. They only. Okay, so we've got. Eh? I don't know where David is. Is he coming back? Eh? Yeah, no, you can vote. Are you not showing up as?
My screen's just been...
Okay, so can we reset it? Can we reset it, please? David, are you going to vote on this matter? This is the.
If you are, you're voting yes.
No, because if you are, I think we have to reset the machine. Yeah, reset the machine. So what we're voting on now is the projects at Andrews Crescent and Broome Village, and Phil Clearwater and I have foreshadowed a motion to be passed afterwards if this is lost. But if this is carried, then our foreshadowed motion comes off the table.
The chair and deputy chair are voting for that. So no pressure.
Yeah. So do you want to flick up the show them the other resolution, which is that the report be referred to the May 22nd meeting with additional information provided on the Broome Street site and the previous options. And it actually also requires some wording I thought was going to be added in there about reversing the previous decision. Well, not reversing it, but overturning it. Rescinding the previous decision. Yeah. So, so can we go back to the resolution? Okay, so vote yes or no, or abstain, whatever. So the motion is lost, and we will now move to the foreshadowed motion. And we need that the previous resolution be rescinded. So if we can add in the words that the, put that right up the front, that the previous resolution relating to this matter.
Presumably, but I think to rescind it needs to come from...
Oh, relating to the selection of the Broome Street site. Should we be specific? Relating to the Broome Village, it's called, isn't it?
Can I just say, I just wonder if we need that, because in fact people may now support, in fact, obtaining more information. They may not want to support the...
Well, but we have to rescind the resolution in order to... Because we've got a resolution of council.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Subject to...
Oh, so we can do it at the next meeting? Okay, all right. So we don't need to rescind the resolution in this motion? No. Okay, right, thank you. I got told that that's what I was supposed to do, so that the previous resolution the rooms that okay, so yeah, so that the report be referred to the 22nd of May meeting with additional information provided on the Broome Street site and the previous options. Well, no, it doesn't matter because we'll have to include that if we're going to.
We've got to change it.
Is that right? We don't need to.
Right, Peter? Have we got it right?
That's sufficient, isn't it? Okay. All right. I shall put the motion. All those in favour. Well, actually, yeah. Press a button. We'll do it this way. If you're in favour of the foreshadowed motion, vote yes. Otherwise, vote no.
I found a way through, I don't, but I
Yeah.
don't want the minister saying, you said you'd do this and that. We'll need a resolution to accept supplementary and also acceptable.
Right. Okay. So that's been carried, and so now we will move on. Thank you very much.
Oh, here's another one.
What?